What's going on, guys? It's Jason, and I'm coming to you to share some more ideas. Now, these are going to be videos that I post back to back to back to back. It's been a little crazy, this challenge, but you know what? There is learning in the challenges that throw us for a loop, right? But I will tell you this, I'm committed. I committed myself to sharing these ideas. Hopefully you've gotten a lot of value of us having these kinds of content posted into the group. But anyways, let's go through real recap. We don't want any of that. A recap. And again, I hope that you see the value in going through this, because repetition, all right, it's the mother of all learning, right? I don't know who said that. I want to say it was Ben Franklin. I could be wrong, but that's a phrase that I've always heard, and I do believe repetition is the mother of all learning. So let's go through it real quick. We go from dreams to personal development to financial freedom to meaningful relationships, and we're getting ready to get into the final topic, the final idea. So let me share with you real quick about dreams, because you have a dream. You have visions, you have desires, which is the key topic we'll get into in just a second. But what I am saying is there is a part of you that you know that you have the potential to do great things. You have a business idea, a charity, a church, a ministry, whatever it is, it's inside of you. You know you want to pursue that. So let me give you some dynamic ideas about dreams. And again, the first one is desire. Your dream is something you desire. Your dream is something that deep down inside you want it. And what you must do is learn to drive that desire deep and strong, and to weigh out all the other desires, to not fall into temptation, but to consistently pursue that which you truly want. You do that by creating goals. It's focused, organized planning towards the desires you have, towards the dreams that you want to achieve. You have to give yourself specifics. You have to get clear. You have to get focused. You have to put steps into order. You have to have these goals that you can achieve and to build confidence, right? And in order to maintain discipline in your goals, you have to have reasons. You got to know why you're doing what you are doing. It's the why. It's the reasons. It's the reasons that keep us grounded. And that being said, it's the disciplines we develop that will help us to become the person that we must be in order to have the dreams we want. It's more important to become than to achieve. What you are becoming is more important than what you're achieving, because until you become, you shall not achieve. All right? So it's all about personal development. It's where we begin, which is our next topic. I break personal development down into 4 groups. We have physical personal development, or physical health, which is what this challenge is about. We are trying to put our bodies into subjection in order to make sure that this vehicle we call a body is a well-performance vehicle, that we are actually feeling well enough to do well. It's super important, because if you can conform your body, if you can tell your body what to do, you do the nutrition, you do the exercise, you do the hydration, right? You do these things long enough, you're going to feel great. You're going to get momentum, right? Same thing with your emotional health. This is your attitude. You've got to learn to put yourself in a state of feeling that it projects that you are living with positivity, with optimism, that you are not being brought down by the negativity of this world. You have to learn to be stable when the world around you is frantic. This is emotional health. It's your attitude, and that has a lot to do with what you're consuming. You consume fear, you'll have fear. But if you consume the word of God, you'll have peace, you'll have joy, you'll have faith, you'll have these things, right? Consuming, has so much to do with what your attitude's going to be. Spent too much time on that, but that's okay, because emotional health is so important. Then you got intellectual health. It's your skills, right? You got to have some good skills. You got to level up. You got to read books. You got to go to webinars. You got to do the seminars. You got to do these things that increase your knowledge and understanding so that way you bring more value. And then spiritual health. Are you increasing your identity? In other words, who you really are. Are you leveling that person up? This is just a body. This is just, right? But who you really are. Your belief, your understanding, your identity, right? We must increase our identity so that we can achieve and possess more in our lives, okay? So that's personal development. Financial freedom. Because guess what? Freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want, it's a noble thing if you understand the purpose. The purpose is to live a life of contribution, right? We work, we labor, we do these things because it is for our good, but we also want to labor in a way that we create more value than we need and that we can be generous with our lifestyle. And all this financial independence, freedom talk, it comes down to number one, what kind of value are you offering? You know, are you a valuable worker? Are you valuable to the marketplace? Yes, you're a child of God, but what are you doing at work? What are you doing in your business? What are you doing? Are you the person that has the skills, the attitudes, right? Are you the type of person that makes teams better? It's a great question. It all comes down to value. Then you've got this idea of cash flow. In other words, are you accounting for your money and making sure that you are profitable every month? Every month. I'm not saying that there's not times you dip, right? They're called emergencies. That's why you have an emergency fund, right? To bank you into out of an emergency. But you've got to have great disciplines of where you put your money and how that money goes to work, which is the next part, which is investment. Okay? How you grow your money. You can't just add to your wealth. You have to multiply your wealth. This is where you can either have a active capital campaign where you are taking money and you are pumping it into business ideas, right? Buying businesses, services, goods, whatever, and generating more than what you had, right? That's you actively working that capital to grow it. And that's a wonderful thing to do, by the way. The other way of doing this is when you have so much excess cash that you're able to passively invest into other people's dreams, goals, desires, right? And they pay you for the use of their money, of your money rather, because the dream they have requires more capital than what they have. So it's a partnership. You passively invest. Here's the money. It provides the service, goods, whatever you're trying to achieve, and you get paid for that with the promise of having everything you gave returned, right? You're generating interest, dividends, maybe even doubling, tripling what you sown in, right? It's just investing. And the whole point is your lifestyle, right? Living a life of not just, for you. That's shallow. That's having the love of money. I'm talking about living a life where you can meet needs. Most people want to do for others, like do good things. They want to be a person of contribution, but they just can't because they're strapped, right? We've gotten ourselves into a predicament where we can't live past ourselves. Some of us are having difficult, right? Just living our own lives. We've got to get out of that mindset. We were made for more. We serve a God of abundance, and we know that He can give us anything we need. He'll provide our needs, but you know what? I want to be trusted with so much that God allows me to meet needs, because it's not about me, it's about others. Meaningful relationships, we've got to hurry. Meaningful relationships starts with your family. Gotta love them. You gotta appreciate them. You gotta express gratitude for them because they're there for you. You've got to invest in your family. Grow that relationship. Your family, or not your family, but your friends, your social group has a lot to do with how you'll respond, how you'll act. Choose your friends wisely. It's important, right? Your network. Make sure that you are helping your network grow. Be of service. You help enough other people get what they want, you'll get what you want. It's all about serving. God has created a system where when you serve, you receive. So go serve people, serve vendors, customers, employees, employers, serve. And then finally, publicly, how are you living? Are you living in a way of impact, in a way that you are stewarding influence for the kingdom of God? Are you a person that inspires others? You have a public persona, whether you want to believe that or not. People know you publicly, whether it be in small circles or big circles. But how you act and portray yourself matters because you have influence. Now, last subject, super important. This has all to do with productivity, with legacy, with really making the most of your time in your life. Because time is the commodity that you don't get back. You waste a minute, that minute is gone. The other thing that's amazing about time is I have exactly the same amount of time as you have, in the sense that when we live a day, we both were equally given 24 hours. The difference is what we do with those times. And I will tell you this, the first discipline of productivity is learning to manage a day, one day at a time, living one day with excellence. I'm going to give you a quick tip. I'm just going to go right into this, okay? Maybe on another series, maybe I'll really bust all of these out, maybe even have conversations, but let's just talk about this. You have to schedule your days, all right? It's like money. See, these principles, they apply. It's like money. If you don't label your money, if you don't budget your money will find places to go that you didn't assign it to. And now all of a sudden you're saying, well, where'd my money go? It's the same way with your time. If you don't put a power plan, that's what I call a power plan together, right? What time you waking up? What time you exercising? What time you eating? What time you going to work? What time you hanging out with your family? What time are you working on your dreams, your goals, right? What time are you going to bed? Like all these things, you got to learn to discipline yourself in one day at a time increments. And I'll tell you this, if you master a day, you can master a week, right? Put a day together, enough days in a row, you'll then learn how to put a week together. You put a week together, you put enough of those together, guess what? You can put a month together. You put some months together, you got a quarter. 4 quarters make a year. I'm just simply saying, expand your thinking, expand what you think is possible. If you're tired of running out of time, guess what? It's your time is being mismanaged. I do it all the time because it's a discipline. It's something I have to come to the table and say, whoa, I'm out of control because I've not done my due diligence. By the way, a plan also helps you make decisions. You see, you might be like, well, my life, it gets crazy, right? People call me and they need this and da-da-da. You want to know why your life gets crazy? You haven't made any decisions about your day. Now, I'm not saying you're a robot because I will tell you this, it goes back to relationships. You've got to be able to flex. You've got to be able to maneuver. But this comes to a perspective, all right, an attitude, and that is this. Are you more time sensitive or are you more results sensitive? Because there's some times where you got to compress time, right? Sometimes you got to learn to do multiple things, right? Because you're trying to get to where you're going. And if I can do 2 things simultaneously, see, easiest thing for me to combine together, compress, is learning and driving. That's simple, but it's so true. See, everyone's blasting their tunes and listening to the radio and listening to gossip. But when I'm driving, I'm either learning or I'm communicating. That's what I'm doing. I'm either investing in my intellectual health or I'm investing in relationships that are meaningful. I don't have time to waste. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, but I'm just asking you to challenge your thinking around this idea of what am I putting into my days? What am I doing? How could my life be different if I actually put my day down on paper? Like people will tell you about a budget, put your budget on paper, do the same thing with your time. and see what happens. So that's the first concept of productivity. Challenge yourself to manage your days.